The state of New York is located in the northeastern USA, between the Canadian provinces of Quebec and Ontario, and Lake Ontario in the northwest, and the Atlantic coast in the southeast. The state is bordered by New Jersey and Pennsylvania to the south, and Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont to the east. It has a maritime border with Rhode Island, east of Long Island. The St. Lawrence River forms a section of the state's border with Canada. The state has got 62 counties. Its largest city is New York. Its capital city is Albany. The Dutch, English, and French were the first Europeans to explore and colonize the area, now known as New York. Voyaging for the French, Italian-born explorer Giovanni de Verrazzano became the first European to explore the east coast of America when he landed in New York Bay in 1524. In 1609 and 1610, the English-born explorer Henry Hudson navigated the river now known as the Hudson and other parts of New York, seeking new routes to Asia for the Dutch and British. Around the same time, French explorer Samuel de Champlain visited the east coast of North America, including New York, and founded the city of Quebec as the capital of New France. Following Hudson's voyages, the Dutch established New Netherland as a fur trading outpost and their first colony in the New World. Dutch merchants soon began sponsoring trips to the new colony. The area diversified as people from all over Europe fled religious persecution, war, and natural disaster to settle in the New Netherland. The English, however, believed they had claims to New Netherland as they had sponsored explorer John Cabot's voyages to the New World in 1497 and 1498. They waged 3 wars against the Dutch between 1652 and 1674, and in 1664, New Netherland passed to the British. The British renamed the area New York after James II, Duke of York, the son of King Charles I. New York was one of the 13 original colonies that battled for independence from England during the American Revolution. Nearly a third of all Revolutionary War battles were fought in New York. After the Constitution was ratified in 1788, New York City became the first capital of the United States. On the 30th of April, 1789, George Washington was inaugurated as the nation's first president at Federal Hall, located on Wall Street. The state covers an area of 54,556 square miles. Compared, it is somewhat larger than Greece, but it would fit into Texas almost 5 times. It ranks as the 27th largest state by size. New York lies upon the portion of the Appalachian Mountains, where the mountains generally assume the character of hills and finally sink to a level of the lowlands that surround the Great Depression filled by Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River. 3 distinct mountain masses can be identified in the state. The most easterly of these ranges, a continuation of the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, enters the state from New Jersey and extends northeast through Rockland and Orange counties to the Hudson River, continuing on the east side of that river as the highlands of Putnam and Dutchess counties. The second series of mountains enters the state from Pennsylvania and extends northeast through Sullivan, Ulster, and Greene counties, terminating and culminating in the Catskill Mountains west of the Hudson. The third mountainous region, occupying the northeast part of the state, is known as the Adirondack Mountains. The region is bounded to the south by the Mohawk River, south of which the highlands become part of the Allegheny Plateau, in the form of broad, irregular hills broken by the deep ravines of streams. New York State has more than 7,600 freshwater lakes, ponds, and reservoirs, as well as portions of the 2 of the 5 Great Lakes and over 70,000 miles of rivers and streams. Major rivers in the state are St. Lawrence River, Hudson River, Black River, and the Delaware River. The largest lake within the state is Lake Oneida. To the west of Oneida Lake are the Finger Lakes, a group of 11 long and narrow lakes. The climate of New York is generally humid continental, while the extreme southeastern portion of the state lies in the warmer, humid subtropical climate zone. Winter temperatures average below freezing during January and February in much of the state, but several degrees above freezing along the Atlantic coastline, including New York City. Annual precipitation is fairly even throughout the year across the state of New York. The Great Lakes region of the state sees the highest annual rain and snow amounts in the state, and heavy lake effect snow is common in both western and central New York in winter. In the hotter months, large, long-lived complexes of thunderstorms can invade the state from Canada and the Great Lakes. The largest city in the state and the most populous city in the United States is New York City. It is home to more than 2/5 of the state's population. The largest cities in the state are Hempstead Town, Brookhaven, Islip, Oyster Bay, and Buffalo. Having been the most populous state in the US for a century and a half, from the 1810s until 1962, New York is now in fourth place behind California, Texas, and Florida. Growth has been distributed unevenly. The New York City metropolitan area is growing, along with the Buffalo-Niagara Falls metropolitan area. The United States Census Bureau stated in the 2020 census that the population of New York was 20,215,000 people on the 1st of April 2020, a 4.3% increase since the 2010 census. Despite the abundance of open land in the state, New York's population is very urban, with 92% of residents living in an urban area, predominantly in the New York City metropolitan area. The economy of the state of New York is reflected in its gross state product in 2022 of $2 trillion, ranking third in size behind the largest states of California and Texas. If New York State were an independent nation, it would rank as the 10th largest economy in the world. It is an insanely powerful and influential state.